My Sultan, is it possible for someone who has ever set foot in the divine courts to become wretched? It is said that they are such a group that those who sit with them do not become wretched. Who are the people blessed with this good news? Now, the answer to this is both yes and no. Things like this happened a lot in the military. One day a soldier received some money, but the company sergeant major seized it and wouldn't give it back. So the soldier complains to the captain. He says, the sergeant major took my money. After that, the captain comes over. He asks in front of the sergeant major. He says, did your money get lost? He says, no, it didn't get lost. The captain asks him separately. He says, it got lost. The captain says, hey son, did it get lost or not? He says both. It both got lost and didn't get lost. When you ask, it got lost. When the sergeant major asks, he can't say it got lost out of fear. Of course, even a single Jew who has grown taller than his own is honored to Islam by visiting the lodge of Abdul Qadir Gailani, one of those sultans. Hallelujah. That's a long story. They are too. One day, the sultan and his wife, those dervish lodges were sitting on the ground, their heads sticking out of the window. They were doing dhikr like this. The Jew's wife is also walking nearby. His wife says, oh my dear, where is this sound coming from? She says. So he goes and sticks his head out the window. He says, oh, it's the Muslims doing dhikr. Ah, okay. That night, the Jew dreams that the day of judgment has come. He says, the angels of hell came. They grabbed me by the collar. He says, they're dragging me towards hell. He says, suddenly a giant radiant figure stood before us. He said, he is mine. You are not allowed to take him to hell, he says to the angels. And they say, oh Lord, what about this servant of yours? He is telling the truth. I have given him my word. I said I would place all my loved ones in my paradise. If he says he is mine, then there is nothing to be done. In the morning, the Jew wakes up and comes running. He falls at the feet of the Blessed One. He recites the declaration of faith. He becomes a Muslim. He says, just once. He stuck his head out the window. He says, it's mine. Oh, and what else? If the person honored with those sultans does not become a bandit, but you make a mistake that makes you a bandit, there's nothing you can do about it. Can you give an example, sir? He says that, right? What was Sheikh Halil? The fastest marble maker in the East and West. Let me give you an example. Balaam bin Baura. In the 175, 176 verse of Surah Al-Araf. Let's see, isn't he also a saint who has a great name? That's the name Azam. Not everyone knows. It is said that the most glorious of names cursed Moses. Look at the mistake. God forbid he curses God's prophet with God's majestic name. It is said his tongue trembled like this. In the holy verse, Allah the Almighty says, have you seen the one whose tongue hangs down to his belly? He became a disbeliever. Yes. Now we are in the same situation as the soldier, both lost and not lost at the same time. He may or may not become wretched. If you mind your own business and behave decently, there's no problem. But if you make such a mistake, God forbid, right? Like Kirill said, it ruins us. Can you curse God's prophet? What should we do? We must know our place. If you don't, God forbid, the outcome will be bad. Look, Satan overstepped his bounds just because Allah Almighty gave him a little influence. Look at his fate. Even though he was the leader of the angels, he ended up condemned to eternal hell. We must know our place.